All right, we are back with Andor episodes 7 through 9. Another great addition to the series. First episode, or episode 7, was a little bit slow. Still, I really enjoyed it. Great storytelling, great build up to episode 8, which is what we've really been looking for was episode 8. But what do you think about episode 7?
It was okay. There was a lot of information being relayed, and it was a good calm before the storm setup for episode 8. Only it had the emotional gut punch in episode 9. This block carries you through everything that you could want. So far, this is the crown jewel of the series. This block of 3.
Yeah, it was really good. Even though, episode 7 was slow, but it's also because Cass is so content with him and Bix, just he just wants to stay there forever with her.
Yeah, just as long as she's safe, he's content and he's doing his job.
Yes, that's how he sees it. But now he's neglecting the rebels, and
Well, hell, he's even neglecting himself, not allowing his injury to get healed or to even be looked at, because I think he's using it as a bit of a crutch almost. As long as he's still injured, he won't do any missions or anything, and he can be there with her.
but we do see a I guess a chick who can do the force, who Bix makes him go see her. He gets really offended by it. Like he does not like being there. He does not like her touching him, or I guess because he felt
Well,
something.
no, well, for one, he mentioned that there was an issue with Marva and one of the and a previous Force healer. That's why he was against the idea.
But she does end up healing him, even though he doesn't believe it, she does end
Yeah.
up healing him. And she does say something that's it's very fitting, she says that he is a messenger. And, Cass doesn't like this, but Bix understands.
She didn't say it to Cassian. Cassian had walked off by that point because he'd felt molested because she force molested him. So he had the heebie-jeebies and took off because that's just Bix talking with her, and the lady tells Bix that he's a messenger, which of course he is because we know how his story ends. He delivered the message to the rebels that ultimately was a massive shift because in the Star Wars world, that's how they tell time is based on the Battle of Yavin, and that's when they blew up the Death Star, which he was the messenger for.
After that, we find that Luthen wants was it Luthen that wants him to kill Deidre?
No, that was Wilman because
Okay,
Wilman
that's right, that's
is
right,
being
Roman.
assertive and going out on his own and had scoped out and found out Didger's on Gorman heading up that stuff, and the death of his father is what radicalized him. That's what turned him. And then once he found out that she was the cause of it and located her, then yeah, he wants blood. There's more build up with uh, Cyril and Dedra in that first episode because he's starting to question her, and she's still not telling him anything. He's slowly figuring out, but doesn't want to believe that she played him.
Well, she looks at it like it's for their future, you know? That's how she looks at it. Even though she knows she's playing him, she still looks at it like, "Hey, it's for our future. We're gonna be set. We don't have to worry about anything."
I'm rich, bitch!
Yeah, but the thing is with Cyril, he is so straight laced and by the book. Well, ultimately, it really fucks with him. And then when he was a tool to that they wielded to cause this, he's beside himself.
Yeah, you definitely see later in the episode how beside himself he is.
Yeah, just in shock, aimlessly wandering. But yeah, the Gorm we finally see the Gorman Massacre and starts that morning. There's rumors of the mine the mining equipment being brought in overnight. And Syril catches wind and, of course, is pretty pissed off because it finally clicks that he's been used the whole time, or at least he has the proof.
Yeah, he doesn't even believe that guy, the captain guy who was telling him. He's like, "No, they would have told me. They would have told me."
Yeah, but on his way, he figures that shit out, and then confrontation with Dedra, man. Whew. I
Yeah,
didn't I
that was
didn't think
intense.
he had it in him, but man, he snapped.
Is Doc Miles gonna have to choke a bitch?
Yeah, I didn't think he'd ever go that far. And then she's just saying that it was done for them, for their future, and that they're gonna be we're gonna we're going back to Coruscant. We're set for life, buddy. But he's straight and narrow, wants to do everything by the book, and does not want to be part of causing a massacre, which unfortunately he is.
Fortunately, he is, and when him walking outside, and everybody's gathered into the circle, and they open fire, and you just see him. It's like in a daze, like for a second there, I thought maybe he's like, maybe I'm on the wrong side. Maybe what we're doing is horrible.
Well, yeah, he's the catalyst of it. But then he sees his boy, and that rage just intensifies, and he goes after Cassian, and that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was. It was. He actually kind of had the drop on Cass. He ended up getting the weapon, and well, actually he saved Deidre because Cass had Deidre in his
Yeah.
sights, and then he tackled him and they tussle. But what was awesome is what Cass said to him.
Who are you?
Because we all knew that he has no idea who
Well, yeah,
Cyril
because
is.
he's
Because in the first season, he doesn't even know who the gun belongs to, so he doesn't know who he is.
yeah,
But
and
fucking Cyril is lived for
yeah,
this moment to have another face to
that's
face with him.
that's his driving force for years. But Cassian has no idea.
You just see Cyril's face, like, what have I been doing
Yeah,
this whole time? You don't even know who I am.
he's realized that not only has he wasted years by holding this hatred and
Let the hate flow through you.
or not it's not even really hatred of Cassian, it's just wanting to bring him to justice so badly. And Cassian has no idea who he is, and then now he's been used as a pawn by the Empire to create this horrible atrocity, and he's just at a loss. It's like almost like, what is my life for? You just see it in that split second.
I was shocked though. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh damn, that's it. That's it for Cyril. I had a feeling he was gonna die this season, but I wasn't sure when. I thought maybe last episode or something.
Man, I was really hoping it would be Dedra because she was just.
I thought she was gonna
I
die
was I
too.
was
I
really
thought
hoping for it because she's just so despicable, and to use someone that she supposedly loved like that, and it's just she's the one that deserved it more than him. But
I think she'll get hers by the end of the show.
either that or she'll go mad because you saw how she was after everything.
Well, during all the chaos, Cass grabs the droid that we see in Rogue One, K2SO.
We don't know it's K2SO at that point.
We know it's K2SO.
No, we know it's
We,
good.
we
We
really do.
know
But
eventually it's going to be K2SO.
when those droids first came out, that was fucking
Yeah,
badass. So
because
like all the chaos is going, the droids come out, dude.
yeah,
That was badass.
yeah, because at that point it's just a typical KX security droid. But who was it? Was it Willman that came out of nowhere? No, no, it was one of the Gorman dudes comes out of nowhere and just happens
Yeah,
to
one of the Gorman guys
save
who
them.
run it
And
over.
then before him and Willman take off, Cassian's like, "Hey, I need one more favor."
So the last episode, this is where we see Mon's big moment. And it was pretty good. It was pretty intense. Like we have a lot of stuff going on. You have her doing her speech. You have the guy or the chick who infiltrates
Infiltrates.
the rebels. kills that one dude.
Well, yeah, but
And
it starts by, yes, Mon is there's been a coordination with Bail Organa for her to give a speech, and they know it's going to be big, and Bail has coordinated her escape. She's going to be held in contempt by the Empire after the speech because she's going to call out Palpatine.
Something, something, something dark side.
ISB is already on it. They've had her. They've had multiple senators bugged. It's just showing how bad the Empire really was. There was a lot of build up, and then we find out that Bail, well, Luthen finds out, which we don't really know how yet, but he knows that there's something not right in Bail's camp, and sets up Cassian to get her an exit strategy.
which he always does.
Yeah,
He's the man.
yeah.
And I like whenever he's escorting her out. Well, he kills the agent, the one who the traitor. And that's the first time that I think Mon's seen anyone dead because he shoots her and she's freaking out. He's like, "No, we got to go, we got to go." And then someone finally kills her damn driver. I was so whenever the driver took off looking for Mon because that he knows something's going on, so he goes look for Mon, and they run into each other, and Cass shoots him. I was just thinking, finally, that son of a bitch is gone. I remember from season one, I hated that guy. I don't know, he annoyed me. Like just him always spying on Mon. I knew he was gonna go. Oh, they're gonna take him out some way or another, and then they finally did. But my big thing is I want to know what is gonna happen to Mon's family. Like I want to know what's happened to her husband and her daughter.
Well, she married her
Because
daughter off, but yeah, I don't know. I think she's just gone. She's left them. Perrin and her they weren't the best couple to begin with, and he had his life, she had hers, so and now that her kids married
yeah, but
off, but yeah, that's the sacrifice she's going to have to make for this.
most tyrants go after the family after they find that she's a traitor. They go after even though she's married off, they go after them.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, because you talked about how she was taken aback at when Cassian killed that first person. She's always been on the easy side of things. She's just been a bankroll. She bankrolled them pretty much. She hadn't been in the
Yeah,
shit yet. That's all.
not
That's
not
all
like this.
changing right now because she's in the shit. She's going to have to make the sacrifices everybody else did. They've had to sacrifice their loved ones, their families. Now she's completely in it. She has to do the same. And then speaking of sacrificing, you got Cassian and Bix. Once Cassian gets back, he's talking to Bix and he just wants them to leave.
She just wants to run away together. Says we're good, and he even says
The only special thing about me is luck.
And he doesn't want to press his luck.
because he knows he actually lost to Syril, but then he got lucky and
Yeah,
the dude killed Syril.
he doesn't think he has a bigger role to play, but she does. So she
Yeah.
makes the sacrifice for the both of them while he's asleep, and that was a gut punch, man. I didn't
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
didn't
sad.
see that shit coming. And he's fucking freaks out and goes running trying to find her only to find out that the shuttles had left way earlier. And so he's just rock bottom. Nobody. It's just him.
Well, I guess him and that's when the droid they start the
Yeah, and
droid
that's
whenever he
when
gets
they
back
tell
over
him,
there.
"Hey, we're gonna fire up that KX unit," which is kind of opportune because he's a rock bottom. He has no one, and then that ends up being his partner. So that'll be fun to see early. Well, it won't be early dynamics because the last episode is going to butt right up with the beginning of Rogue One. So we won't see a whole lot of that relationship being built between him and K2SO
Yeah,
unless they span those throughout a year because these
yeah,
have been just
maybe.
usually they're all set in a different year, but it's just like 3 days back to back in those years. I don't know if they'll change it and just do 3 days in a row, for this next block or break it up. But also we forgot, also in that last one when, Vel got her recruits there, we see Melchi.
Yeah, I know. You see freaking Melchi. I was like, oh shit, look who it is.
Yeah. So we got so Andor's little group's coming together. He's got K2SO now, Melchi. We're coming to the end. You know who I want to know what's going on? Fucking B2 emo. Motherfuckers just left on that wheat planet.
Yeah,
Poor
exactly.
bastard.
Yeah, you're right. I
All
forgot
he
about
did
that.
was love Cassian, and now he's been by himself.
Yeah,
That's
you're right. It's
it's
very
kind of
sad.
fucked up.
I forgot about that. It's kind of fucked up. I know he loved Cass. You
Yeah.
know, he was one of my favorite things.
Yeah, and it's
Did they leave him there? They did
yeah,
leave
they
him there,
left
didn't
him
they?
there with those people because they were in a hurry after after Cassian come in and attack the fucking Empire. I hope they resolve that because that's one of my biggest things. He was a great droid character, probably one of my favorites over throughout Star
Yeah,
Wars because he did have that
yeah. He's
emotional
awesome.
element to him to where the other ones haven't.
All right, we only got 3 episodes left of this amazing show. It's kind of bittersweet, you know. It's 3 left, then it's over. But next week we'll be back with the final 3. Catch you then.